Okay. Good morning. So let's go ahead and get started for today. So I don't think we'll have a big turnout for today because it's extra credit, and I already gave you guys the final. But thanks for joining, and we're going to do an extra credit example for today's session. Okay, so we're going to do a modification of example 10.2 that we did last week, I believe. And so the files you'll need are here, which are the three ordering books Excel files. And this extra credit will just count as another assignment, so you can put that into the discussion forum when you finish it. Okay, so that goes right there, and it counts just like a normal assignment. So that's where that goes when you finish it. So let's go to, it's under example 10.2. Okay, and so I wanted to do a modification of one of the original book examples. And so you just need, if you want to look at the steps, for example 10.2 that we did last week, this one. Okay, so we're going to use this as a guide and just modify a few things, but you can refer to this for the formulas. And we're basically doing the same analysis with a different problem. So you can refer to this, and this is what I'll use for the formulas. Okay, so the first one is ordering books, Excel only one, so you can open that up. Alright, so this is, here's the example we're doing. So this is similar to the ordering calendar, but I made up a new example for ordering books from Amazon. When is the last day to turn in the final? So Monday, May 25th. So it says the due date right there on the final exam. So you're welcome. Okay, and so yeah, the last day to turn in anything is Monday, May 25th, and so the final, any late assignments, and this assignment, last day for submitting anything is Monday, May 25th, because I'm going to start doing the grading on next Tuesday. So everything is due by Monday, May 25th. Alright, so this is an example of doing a simulation at Amazon, and so buying books. And so this particular book, alright, so it costs $5 to buy, and they sell it for $20. And if there's a refund, the refund is $2.50. Okay, and so this is the demand distribution. And so demand is going to be one of these 5 things, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000, and the probabilities that each one occurs are next to it. So there's a 10% chance it's this, 1,000. There's a 25% chance it's 2,000. And these are all the associated probabilities for each possible demand for this book. Okay, so we're going to see if the average order quantity is the best, and then do a bunch of simulations and see which order quantity gives us the highest average profit based on this demand distribution. Okay, so let's start just by highlighting our colors. So the inputs are the unit cost, the cost data. So let's highlight this section, the light blue for inputs. And then also the demands are going to be inputs. So those are light blue, this little section here. Okay, order quantity is our decision variable, so let's highlight that, the decision color, which is the light red. And then profit is our objective, so let's highlight that, the highlight yellow color. Okay, and so we're going to see if the average order quantity is the best. And so you can probably see that the average is the middle, but just to confirm that we're going to start with the trial value of the average demand, just take the average of the demand so you know what to put in there. So you can go right here in E10 and take the average of demand to start with that. Average of E5 to E9. Okay, so average demand is 3,000, and let's start with that in our red trial value cell right here. Okay, and then let's calculate the cumulative probabilities over by the demand distribution. So we did this in the other example 10.2, but start here in D5 and put a 0. Okay, and then in D6, it's equals. F5 plus D5. Okay, and then grab this formula and drag it down to the rest of the demand distribution like this. Alright, so this one should be 0. This one should be 0.1. This one should be 0.35. This one should be 0.65. And this one should be 0.9. And this way, the random demands will go up to this, we'll call it a lookup table, and determine the demand based on the probability. So remember, if it's between 0 and 1.0 or 0.1, it's 1,000. If it's between 0.1 and 3.5, demand is 2,000. If the random number is between 0.35 and 0.65, it's 3,000. If the random number is between 0.65 and 0.9, it's 4,000. And if it's above 0.9, it's 5,000. And you can see that the likelihood of occurring is based on the range of random numbers. So the random number will give us the demand, and then we'll keep our probabilities that each one occurs. All right, so let's make a few range names before we start this analysis. So you can make a range name for the cost data. You can select A4 to B6 and make your range names. And select A9 to B9 and make a range name for the decision variable, which is order quantity. Okay, and remember you also want to make the lookup table, and you have to do this manually, so select this range, which is D5 to F9. So select this whole range, and then make a name up in the name box up here. So you can call that lookup table. Alright, so we've done this before, but select that range and then the name box. Manually give that a range name called lookup table. Okay, so that range is lookup table. Alright, so you should have these 5 range names: lookup table, order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund. So that's all you need for this example for the range names. Okay, let's start with a random demand in B19. So first in B19, just type in the formula equals rand. Alright, so just a random number is going to come out. Okay, and if you want, you can go down to 2 decimals, so it looks like these ones, the same format as up here. So for this one, you can go up here where it says decrease decimal and take it down to 2 decimals. Okay, then let's get a demand based on the random number, which is equal to the VLOOKUP function we've been doing. So in C19, here's the formula. So equals VLOOKUP, B19, comma, lookup table, comma 2. And so again, what this does is it takes the random demand, and then goes up to the lookup table and gives us the random number, and goes up to the lookup table and gives us the number in column 2, which is demand. So based on the random number, it's going to give us the demand that comes with that. Alright, so 0.54 is in between 0.35 and 0.65, and so this should give us a demand of 3,000, and so that's where that demand comes from. It's based on the random number and the lookup table that we set up. Okay, in D19, the revenue is equal to this. Equals unit price times min, C19 comma order quantity. And so remember, this is based on which of the values is lower, either demand or order quantity. And so whichever one it is, we can sell that number at the price of $20 per book. So hit enter. And you can see the revenue is, demand and order quantity were the same here. They're both 3,000. So it's just, in this case, 20 times 3,000, which is 60,000. So we can only sell the minimum demand or order quantity because that's how this example works. Right, for E19 cost, this is just equal to order quantity minus unit cost. Alright, so obviously if it costs us $5 per book to order, and we ordered 3,000, then the total cost of ordering is 3,000 times 5. Okay, so F19 for refund, we get a refund if we order too many calendars and demand is too low. In this case, demand is, we ordered an extra 1,000, so let's set up the refund with this formula. In F19 equals, equals unit refund times max, order quantity minus C19, comma 0. So remember, if we have any left over, this is what the formula says. We can sell them back or get a refund. $250 per book. So hit enter. So now, every time we hit enter, it changes the random number. So right now, the unit we ordered exactly demand, order quantity is 3,000. Demand is 3,000, so there's no refund, but we know what happens if that's different. So when we do the other simulations, you'll see the case where we do get a refund, and profit is easy at this point. This is just the revenue minus the cost, plus any refund. So in the next cell, G19, your formula for profit is just equal to equals Z19 plus F19 minus E19. So revenue plus refund minus cost. Alright, so this is our profit. Just revenue minus cost, and then if we get a refund, we get that back too. Okay, if you want to select all the monetary data for the first simulation, so this range, D19 to G19, and just format that to currency so it looks like our profits. Alright, so under the Home tab, you can click on Format Cells, and then, or Format, and then Format Cells. Okay, and then you can change it if you want to currency with no decimals and the dollar sign that goes with it, so it looks like actual dollar values, and hit OK. Okay, and this will be replication 1, but we're going to simulate the rest. All right, so everybody good so far? All right, so let's set up the simulation. So here, all you want to do for this one is number the simulations 1 through 1,000, starting here in A19. So we have a 1 here for simulation 1. All right, in A20, you can type in a 2. And then select these two, A19 and A20, the 1 and the 2, and then drag the bottom right corner down until Excel counts up by 1 all the way to 1,000. So just like this. All right. So in the range A19 to A1018, just numbered 1 through 1,000 for each of the simulations that are about to be done. All right, so let's just copy the formulas from the first simulation to the rest of the numbered simulations. So select all this together, B19 to G19 like this. All right, see what I selected everything? And then with all of those selected, just double click the bottom right corner and that'll apply the formulas down for all the other simulations. So just do this. All right, so there you go. You get a profit based on each random number, and the formula should be copied down all the way from simulation 1 to 1,000. Okay, and we're going to get, the next step is to get the summary measures, but we want to make a range name for the profit simulation range. So just go here, and if you select the whole G column, you can hit Shift Control down. So see, I selected G18 and then the whole column down, so all the profit range. And then you can make a range name where you just call it profit. Alright, so formulas and create from selection, top row, and then hit OK. Alright, so you should see that that whole range now is called profit, which is range, um, range G19 to G1018, so the whole profit range is called profit. And so then we can just refer to that for the profit range. Alright, so if you got that, you can just get the summary measures for the profit. So starting in B12, take the average, so equals average of profit. Alright, so see how it grabs the range we just made, so the average of the profit range. Enter. Okay, then you want the standard deviation of the profit, so that's equals The formula, which is STVEV, and just type in the profit range here. Alright, so standard deviation of profit, enter. Okay, you want the minimum of profit, so equals min profit in B14 equals min profit. Alright, enter, and then the last one in B15 is just equal to max profit. So the min of profit and the max of profit. Okay, so the random numbers should be different if you're doing this along with me. So your average profit is going to be slightly different, same with your standard deviation, but you should get that your minimum is 10,000 and your max is 45,000. So these two numbers should be the same no matter what, but based on your random numbers, the average and the deviation will be slightly different. Okay, so now we need to get the distribution of profit table and calculate the frequencies and relative frequencies. So we did this in the previous example, 10.2, for the ordering calendars. But let's make a name here for this little chart. So if you go to I-17, let's give a title called distribution of profit. Okay, and I-17, that's distribution of profit, and you can make it bold for a title if you want. So the Control B is the shortcut for bold. Okay, so we're going to list the profits here. So we'll call this column I-18, call it profit. We're going to list the frequencies or occurrences or number of times it was that specific profit. So call column J frequency. And then the K column, we're going to calculate the relative frequency. So you can call this one K18, the relative frequency. Okay, and you should see that we're going to list the possible options that can happen for profit. So there's three of them. And so if you notice the three profits, if you scroll down the column, you'll only see three possibilities. The lowest one is 10,000, so let's put that first. The middle one is 27,500. And the highest possible profit is 45,000. Alright, so if you look at this whole profit range, you'll see that profit is either one of these three. There's nothing else. It's got to be one of those. So we're trying to find out the number of times that each of those is a result. So let's figure that out by counting the number of times out of 1,000 that each of those profits were the conclusion. So in J19, the formula is equal to the COUNTIF function. Alright, so equal to COUNTIF profit I-19. So we're going to count the number of times in the profit range that profit was 10,000. So hit enter. Alright, so 92 times out of 1,000, and then drag that COUNTIF function down for J20 and J21, just like this. Okay, so that's the number of times during the simulation that each of those profits were the result. So there was 110,000, 234, 17,500, 27,500, and then 40,000 occurred. The most times, 666. Okay, and then the relative frequency is all you have to do is divide the frequency by the number of simulations. In this case, that's 1,000. So just in K19 equals J19 divided by 1,000, enter. And then copy that same formula down to J20 and J21, just like this. Okay, and then I'd like to double check that our frequencies sum to 1, and the relative frequencies sum to 1,000, just to make sure this is done correctly. So in J22, just type in equals sum, or equals okay, the sum of J19 to J21, just confirm that that comes out to 1,000. And then drag that over one more so we can confirm that the relative frequency range comes out to a total of 1. Okay, so these sum to 1,000, that's right. And the relative frequency should sum to 1, which they do. Alright, so everybody good so far? Alright, so last thing is to set up a data table, for this one at least. So you can tab over. Alright, so maybe in M17, let's give a title for our data table we're about to create. So let's call this average profit versus order quantity. Alright. Average profit versus order quantity is the title for the data table we're about to make. Alright. You can make that bold if you want, and then we're going to set up the data table here. Okay, so here we're going to put the order quantity. So in M18, let's call this order quantity. Okay, and then in N18, let's call this average profit. Okay, and let's link in the average profit right here in N19. So in N19, just type in equals. Equals B12. So B12 is the average profit we calculated before. Alright. So there's B12. So that goes right into here. Okay, and then let's just list our possible demands that we can order. So let's list 1,000 or 5,000 right here. So starting in M20, type in 1,000. Alright. Then N21, 2,000. Okay, you can just count up to 5,000. So you want 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. Alright, so what we're doing is we're trying to see what the average profit is based on the different order quantities that we can choose, or we will choose. So to make the data table, you want to select this whole range. M19 to N24, and then make your data table. So go to the data tab, and then what if analysis, and then data table. Alright, so select that. Okay, and there's no row input cell, so that's blank, but the column input cell is B9. And that's the cell for the order quantity. Alright, so B9 for that column input cell, and then hit OK. Okay, and if your data table doesn't change, like mine didn't, you can try doing under the formulas tab. Just hit the calculate now button, and that should do it. Or the F9 button is a shortcut as well. Alright, so let's just format the associated average profits as currency, and then we'll make a little chart. Okay, if you want to select this range, N19 to N24, and just format it to be currency, like the other profits. So home tab, format cells. Okay, and you can change it to currency with no decimals and a dollar sign for this one. Okay, so that's your average profit based on the possible order quantities. And the last step for this one is just to do a clustered column of average profit versus order quantities. So you can select this range, which is M20 to N24, right? So all the average profits and all the order quantities. And then go to the Insert tab. And then Recommended Charts. All right, and you just want that first one, so choose that to the clustered column. All right, and let's call this what it is. This is average profit versus order quantity. Okay, and if you want, you can change the style to one of the ones that shows the numbers on the top, if you want. All right, so I like that one because it shows you the actual profits in the top of the column, like that. Okay, that's for this one. We were trying to find, the whole goal was to find the best order quantity. That gives us the highest average profit. If you look at the chart here, the best the best option is not to order the average of 3,000. It's to order, in this case, 4,000. So that gives us the highest average profit. All right, so order quantity of 4,000 gives us the highest average profit. And remember, this is based on the random numbers. So you might get a different result every time you hit enter or change something. I'm trying to get it to change again, but if you just hit calculate now, it'll change. Okay, so every time you recalculate or get new random numbers, your column should update. And so mine's still giving me 4,000 as the best option to give us the best guess for the highest average profit. So the whole point of this is we would go back and change this number to 4,000, and not the average of 3,000. Okay, so we have a couple more versions to do, but we're just a couple, the other ones, the ordering books 1 and or 2 and 3. But we're done with the main one, so everybody good on this one? All right, so we're done with the ordering books number 1. All right, so you can save that, put it aside. That goes into the discussion forum for this one. All right, so that one goes right here, along with the other two we're about to do. So let's do the other two for the ordering books. Go back to the 10.2 section and open up ordering books number 2. Okay, ordering books, Excel only 2. There's that one. Alright, so this one just shows how we can do the same type of analysis with a one-way data table. So we have the same problem, except we're approaching it slightly differently. So let's just do it, the analysis. Instead of doing all the simulations, let's do it in the data table. So first, just make some range names that we're used to making. Alright, so this is ordering books, Excel only 2. Same numbers, different approach. So make range names for your cost data. Make range names for your order quantity, the decision variable cell. Alright, and then you gotta manually name the lookup table. So you want to select D5 to F9, so the same region we did before, and call that lookup table up in the name box. Alright, so that's lookup table. Alright, so that's what we've been doing for lookup table. Okay, so let's put in the formulas for demand, revenue, cost, refund, and profit right here, and then we'll link them into the simulation, or the data table that'll do the simulation for us. So these are the same formulas we've been doing, just that we gotta do for demand. Let's look it up. Let's VLOOK up the random function and give us a demand based on it. So here, V19, the formula is equal VLOOKUP. Alright, so equals VLOOKUP, rand with the open and close parentheses, comma, lookup table, comma 2. So it's going to give us a random number. Go to lookup table and give us the demand that goes with that. Okay. So our demand is 5,000 for this random number. And then do the revenue. And C19, this is equal to. Okay, so equals unit price times min, B19, comma, order quantity. So whichever one is the smaller, right? We know that is going to be our revenue. Okay, so in this one, we only ordered 3,000, so we didn't get to sell the extra 4,000 or the extra 1,000 to meet demand. So revenue is just 3,000 times 20,000 here, and let's get the cost. In D19, this is equal to the unit cost times the order quantity. Alright, and then the refund in E19 is equal to the refund price times whichever times the refund if we get it, if we order too many calendars, so equals alright, so equals unit refund times max order quantity minus B19 comma 0. So if we order too many, we can sell the extra back at $2.50 per book. And then profit in F19 is equal to C19 plus E19 minus D19, so that's just revenue plus refund minus cost. Okay, let's set up our data table and do this one. So starting in A24, just start numbering 1 through 1,000 again to do our data table. Okay. So put one of the two in A24 and A25 and select it and use Excel to count from 1 to 1,000. Okay, so you should have 1 through 1,000 in the range A24 to A1023. And then right here in profit, let's link in the profit formula from above. So this is equal to F19. So in B23, type in equals F19. And that's our profit cell. Enter. Okay, and then all we have to do is do the data table. So you can select this whole area with the keyboard or the mouse. Okay, so I selected A23 all the way to B1023. All right, and then let's make our data table with this selected. So go to data, what if analysis, and then data table. Okay, row input cell is blank, and you can put in C23 for the column input cell, and this is just a blank cell because we want it to be blank to just give us random numbers to do the simulation for the data table. So C23 works. Hit OK. All right, so there is our data table that gave us all the simulations of 1 through 1,000 and the associated profit. All right, so we have the same options that we had before: 10,000, 27,500, and 40,000 are the possible profit outcomes. Alright, and then I'm just going to give a range name to the profit area, and then I will calculate the summaries up here, and then we're done with this one. So if you select B24 all the way down the column like this, okay, so if you select B24 to B1023, you can call that profit up in the name box. Alright, and then you just want the summary metrics up here for the profit range you just made as a range name. So in B12 equals, okay, average profit, so it takes the average of the profit range you just created. Enter. Then in B13 you want the standard deviation, so this is equal to SPDEV, profit. Okay, you want the minimum of profit, so this is equal to min of profit in cell C, B14 equals min profit. And then in B15, this is equal to the max of profit. Alright, and then over here, it does a confidence interval for you, so you can be basically 95% confident that profit's within this range. It'll be a little bit different based on your random numbers, but you should get something there in the 30,000, 40,000 range. Alright, so we wanted to see what our average profit was based on ordering 3,000, and we did a data table to do that. So our average profit is something like 36,000. It'll depend on the simulation, but it's going to be something like that. Alright, so everybody good on this one? We're done with part 2. Okay, so you can save this one and close it, and that goes into the discussion forum as well. Right, that goes in there. All right, so we got one more to do for the extra credit, and then that's it. This is actually our last thing we're doing for the whole semester. So this is it. The last piece of assignment or homework or exam for Biz 272. So we got one more. Let's do it, and then we're done for the extra credit example. So let's open up the part 3. Ordering books, Excel only 3. Alright, so again, same numbers, same problem, except we're going to do now a two-way data table. So there's 3 ways to approach this analysis, and this is the third. So the first was just do all the simulations manually. The second was do a one-way data table, and the third is to do a two-way data table, and that's what we're going to do now. And this is our last part. All right, so let's make our range names. So we want the cost data ranges, the decision variable, and then we got to call that the lookup table is going to be a range name. All right, so cost data first. Okay, order quantity is second. All right, then again, this range, D5 to F9 is going to be called lookup table up in the name box. All right, so let's start putting in the formulas for demand, revenue, cost, refund, and profit. So these should be familiar. But starting here, in B19, the formula for demand is equal to the VLOOKUP function. All right, so same formula as before, that equals VLOOKUP, and RAND with the open and close parentheses, comma lookup table, comma 2, so it gives us a random number, and then gives us the demand that goes along with that based on the lookup table that we set up. Okay, then all these are the same as the previous example, but we got to type them in, so this is equal to. All right, equals unit price times min B19, comma order quantity. Okay, cost is equal to unit cost. All right, that's just equals unit cost times order quantity. That's the same as before. Refund is the same in E19 equals the refund price. Okay, equals unit price times max. Order quantity minus B19 comma 0. And then profit in the yellow cell is equal to, okay, equals C19 plus E19 minus B19, so revenue plus refund minus cost. Okay, and then our big data table is already almost set up, so all you gotta do is link in the profit right here. So in A23, just type in equals F19. Alright, so see that links in the profit to the data table. And then let's select the whole data table and make a big two-way data table for all the profits that go along with the different possible order quantities. So select this whole range like I'm doing. Okay, so I selected A23 all the way down to J23. So A23 to J1023. So this whole range that gives us the whole data table for the two-way table. All right, and then let's make a data table. Data what if analysis, then data table. Okay, so the row input cell is B9 for order quantity. All right, and you just need any blank cell to give us random numbers, so you can put in B10 for the column input cell, so B19 for row, and B10 for column, and then hit OK. Okay, and if you needed to recalculate, just go to the Formulas tab and hit the Calculate Now button. Okay. I'm trying to get it to change, but it's not. All right. Well, I don't know. It's not doing any changes in the data table. It's changing it up here. I don't know. We're done with this one. This is good enough. So if you got this far, you can send this part in. The data table should work. I did it before, and I'll post. When I post the solutions, you can see what I did. But for some reason, it's not working right now, or it's not changing the values. So if you want to turn in what you did for this part, you're welcome to. But you just have to turn in the first two for the extra credit. Okay, so for the extra credit for this one, just make sure you turn in the ordering calendars 1 that we did, the ordering calendars 2 that we did, so that goes into the discussion forum for the extra credit. And if you want to turn in whatever you got to for this one, the part 3, you're welcome to, but you don't have to do that one because I never finished it. So for extra credit, you got to turn in part 1 and part 2, and part 3 is optional because you can do it. You should be able to do it anyways, but since I didn't finish it as an example, you don't have to do it. So part 1 and part 2 are required for extra credit. Part 3 is optional. Okay, so I think that's all we're going to do for today. That the extra credit goes into the discussion forum for ordering books. All right, and then this is due. All the assignments are due by the latest on Monday, the 25th. And make sure you get your final email to me by Monday, May 25th. And then I'll start updating or calculating your grades. And they should be in next week sometime, hopefully by Friday. But that's it. And thanks, guys, for joining. Stay safe. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'll look for your emails and your posts for the assignments and the final exam. All right. Stay safe. Thanks.